What's the deal, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Cultivated Minds, and today we're gonna be talking about watch this if you are evolving. Check it out. Evolving can hurt at first. Realizing that you're growing, throwing away old patterns, old habits, old thoughts, old people, outgrowing yourself. You might start feeling uncomfortable at first, because you realizing you taking it to a new level. You might not want to accept it at first, but then you realizing, this is just who I am. I'm becoming that person, that I always knew I could be. I'm becoming that. And then you're going to realize there's levels to it. Maybe the old beliefs you had, the people you're around, you're going to see the separation. And you also might gain, haters, things like that, because a lot of times, like I always say, people can't unsee who they felt like you were. But then there's always new parts of yourself growing. There's always new parts of yourself that, just elevating, and that maybe you always were, you just didn't show people at first. You could have been afraid of how they felt, or, people's thoughts, or just even your own self, your own evolution. You didn't want to, outgrow the pack, things like that. But, separation is elevation. When you start separating yourself from the pack, you're doing that inner work, looking within yourself, and you figuring out what the things you are to, personally develop in every area, holistic, mind, body, spirit, working on all three, realizing that you can't neglect none of them. You have to nurture each and every one of those. And, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people who might really focus on one, but the other parts are dead, holistic, being able to focus on all three, maintain all three the best you can, doing as much work as possible, not, like I said, not neglecting any of them. You can do that in different ways, just being more accountable of yourself, being more accountable. Accountability is the key. Actually admitting when you're wrong, when you're making a mistake, challenging the thought patterns and the beliefs that you had, because a lot of times it might not even be our own belief. You got parents, you got siblings, you got friends, you got so many different people that you're around that could have implemented certain things in your mind, but you have to ask the question to yourself, taking those with me, was that actually good? Was these things actually good? Because you'll see yourself elevating and evolving, but then you still got these same old thought patterns and beliefs, and you're not able to create the new habits and thoughts because you've been brainwashed in some way or some form with somebody else's beliefs, that's probably not too much serving a purpose within your life. Maybe that might work for them, maybe it might not, but you have to actually challenge and say, is this your belief also? Or is this, that pack mentality, where you're around certain people that makes you think, in this aspect. But just personally developing, personally growing those areas, like I was saying. Admitting when you make a mistake. And how can you become that better version of yourself? We have Google. We just have so many answers, asking the mind, what can you do? How can you do better? And actually putting a paper down, writing it out, writing down what you can do or how you can get better, I've even had times, within my own life, let's say I want to work on communication. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to figure out what I can do to be better, instead of just being like, oh, this is just how I am, I can't really communicate. No, actually try to figure out, how can I step it up? How can I, mind, body, spirit, how can I level up in each and every one of those areas, and actually implementing better habits and disciplines, and working on those habits and different disciplines, and nurturing it every single day. You're not going to get better overnight. Rome wasn't built overnight. I say that every time, 1% better every day, just having those building blocks, realizing that that the more and more you nurture something, it is going to become a good habit. It is going to become a good discipline. You have to be uncomfortable sometimes. Let's say if I have issues communicating, I go speak in front of people. When I was a kid, I would go speaking. If I was speaking in front of somebody or something, I probably get super nervous, real anxious, and just kind of wanted to run from it. Didn't want to deal with it. But the more and more you keep dealing with it, you actually, fighting, that fear. And you just moving forward and keep moving forward, even if you make a mistake, because you realize perfection is not real. You're gonna make mistakes. You're a human, and you actually are just pushing forward and moving forward in those situations. You realize that you get better. It's inevitable. You're gonna get better. The more and more you keep implementing those good habits and disciplines, you have to nurture it. You got to speak to yourself kindly, and just realizing that we're always evolving. Either you're growing or you're dying. So when you realize that you always evolve, and you got to realize, even if you don't agree with the times and what's going on, you have to adapt. You have to evolve in which way that works best for you. But yeah, that's all I really got to say, you guys. Continue to evolve. Continue to stay true to yourself and be genuine. Follow your passion and do what you love. But this is Cultivated Minds, and signing out.